What is up, guys? The new Bonnie here, and today I'm going to be presenting you a top 5 list of some of the mythology behind the names of some of the pack-a-punched weapons in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies. I've got my note cards with me, so to start this list off with the number 5 spot, it is going to belong to the Razorback. Now, the Razorback is what originally a Razorback is, essentially. It's a semi-wild hog, or like a pig, and it's got the ridge on its back, like the mane, like a scary, almost not tamed kind of pig. And what that becomes when you pack-a-punch it is the Golem Bursty. Now, by the way, I'm probably going to be butchering a lot of these names, so just go ahead and roll with it. But basically, the Golem Bursty, why it goes from the Razorback to the Golem Bursty is, you all know the Greek god Loki, probably from the Avengers. Basically, one day he put together a bunch of these really cool, really godlike weapons, or he took a ship from some other god, put them all together, and made a bet with this other god. I think his name is BO3. I don't know how it's pronounced, so I'm just going to put the name like right here or something. But he made a bet on his own head. Basically, he bet his life that his own brother, BO3, I believe, he said that he wouldn't be able to forge together a weapon strong enough for it to be of greater value than any of these things that he's put together. So what he did once was he broke into BO3's place. He saw he was forging some stuff in the furnace, and what BO3 did was he threw a pigskin in there. This is where the Razorback comes in. And when it came out, it was basically like this golden, shiny pig, and it became this godlike pig that basically had a glowing mane on it, and a lot of other gods used this pig to ride into battle, or they used it to ride to a funeral. Basically, wherever there was like a huge gathering or event going on, this is where the Golem Bursty came in and was needed and made its part as this huge godlike pig. On from that, we're going to number 4 spot, the KRM-262. This is personally probably my favorite weapon in Black Ops 2 Zombies. I love the reload animation on it. When you pack-a-punch it, it is known as the Dagon's Glare. Now, what that comes from is Dagon, who is a Polynesian god. This is a pretty short and simple one. Dagon was this Polynesian god who also brought on this sense of doom, and in any kind of like any kind of like Polynesian mythology, he was depicted as this fish entity. So basically, imagine this, like this big old fish god comes out of the water. You're thinking Aquaman right now. He's got nothing. He's weak. He's a loser. Terrible superhero. Shouldn't have even been invented. But what Dagon was basically when he came out of the water, he reeked of dead fish, but he brought on this sense of doom, like chaos was about to start. And what you'll see from along this list is a lot of stuff having to do with like bringing on chaos or some tragic event that's going to happen. So yes, that is the Dagon's Glare. Moving on to the number 3, we have the Banshee, everyone's favorite crap weapon. And I'm not even gonna try with this name. The Slackton of the Kalich. So what this weapon is Kalich is the crone goddess of winter, and she was always depicted as this ugly old lady with bare teeth and whatnot, and she was shown as this huge giant that would walk over mountains. But anyway, what she did was, where the Slackdan part comes in, is that is a druid white wand, little white Harry Potter wand from the druids, that she would use to make these winter colds. She would bring on winds and storms. So explaining that is basically just this old lady known as Kalich that would bring upon winter and storm and havoc of the cold winds. At the number 2 spot, we have the GZK-45 Mark III, otherwise known as the Ray Gun Mark III. So what this weapon is when you pack-a-punch it is known as the Maelstrom of Eris. Now, Eris is a goddess of discord and chaos, and she's used in Greek mythology. What she kind of did was to gain her, to make herself seem like she could only bring on chaos. She doesn't do it because she's forced to, she does it because she wants to. She's this really horrible, mean goddess who basically has a reputation from bringing on and starting the Trojan War. So the Trojan War was started by this little meal, this gathering of the gods, and there was the act known as the Judgment of Paris. Paris was pretty much the Prince of Troy at this time, and what was given to him was this little golden apple appeared. Now this golden apple was brought on by Eris. She put this on the table, and it was kind of like rumors were spread around, and what it came to was Paris had to make the decision if it was the most beautiful or fairest of all of the goddesses between like Zeus's wife, it had Aphrodite, and another one, I don't remember her name. But in the end, he ended up choosing Aphrodite because she, like, I guess kind of bribed him with nudity, and the other ones offered him, like, good stuff like wisdom and such. But because Aphrodite did this and Paris wasn't really thinking too good, she basically took this golden apple of doom and kind of just it brought on the doom of Troy, basically.
Finish him!
Like a bad luck charm. And where the maelstrom part of this comes from is a maelstrom is a whirlpool of chaos. Now, as you know, with the ray gun Mark III, you shoot one part of the blaster and it comes out, or the gun, yeah, I guess. You shoot one part of it, it shoots out a black hole. You shoot the other part, it activates the black hole. Which, if you get that, that's explaining how the whirlpool of chaos, this black hole is started, shot by or brought on by Eris, which is then pronounced to cause chaos. And finally, at your number one spot, we have probably one of my favorite weapons, Zetsubo no Shima, finally brought in this weapon, the dual-wield Marshall 16s, and when they are Pack-a-Punch, they are known as the Perun and Veles. Now, the story behind Perun and Veles is this god of nature. Basically, always, like, kind of, if you see him, he's known as being a bear, or he can transform into any animal of nature. And this is a Slavic mythology. But what happened was, this Veles guy goes into this cave. He's got Perun there. And what happens is he steals from Perun. It's like his wife or his child or something. Like no, it's his cattle, wife, or child. One of those he stole from Perun. And Perun, if you don't know who that is, it is the god of lightning and storm, much like in the Greek mythology, the god Zeus. And they have this huge, epic battle. Like, Veles is going, and he's trying to hide behind everything in nature, because that's what he does, is the god of nature. He knows the land. He knows how to hide from everything. Perun's just going by, and he's throwing lightning bolts everywhere he's hiding, trying to strike him. And that's where the myth behind Perun and Veles comes, is that wherever lightning was stricken, or it striked, I don't know how to say that properly. Basically, anywhere lightning had occurred, this is thought to believe where Perun was basically throwing down lightning, trying to get Veles out of hiding. I hope you guys did enjoy this top 5 list. If you did, please leave a like. And if there are any other weapons you'd like to know about, you can place them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in the next one.
Hold up, take a minute, love.